Hello, today we're going to be taking a look at the Sony RX10 Mark II, which is here. I purchased this camera actually very recently, in the last couple of weeks, and I'm really impressed with it. I already own the Panasonic FZ2000, which is this one, and I would think that the Sony has got to be its main competitor. The Sony RX10 Mark II or Mark III now, they've got a third one. I never went for the Mark III, and I'll explain why I didn't. But the Mark II and III must be the main competitor to the Panasonic FZ2000, and I will be doing direct comparisons as we go through this review. First of all, I will explain why I purchased the Sony, although I own the Panasonic. What I love about the Sony and what I love about the Panasonic. So really, at the end of the day, they both produce fantastic images. Now, I purchased both of these more for video filming than I did for photography. I've got the Sony A6000 and the Pentax K3, K70, whatever, for me stills. So I wasn't terribly concerned about the quality of the stills. Although saying that, the stills are fantastic. So let's get back to the RX10 Mark II. Now, I went for the Mark II after doing a fair bit of research, as opposed to the Mark III, for two reasons. The Mark II has got ND filters, where the Mark III hasn't, and the Mark II's got a constant f2.8 lens. So I was really, looking for that. It hasn't got such a long telephoto lens as what the Mark III has, but as far as that was concerned, that didn't bother me because I've got that on the Panasonic, and there's one difference. It's got a shorter telephoto lens on the Sony, but a longer telephoto lens on the Panasonic. So horses for courses, really. I prefer a wider lens. A lot of the filming I do, as anyone would know by my reviews, is done in the office here. So I like a wider lens. It's quite tight in here. Just so you know, before I forget what I'm filming today with, I've got 3 cameras rolling. I've got the little Panasonic TZ100 over here. That would normally be one of these cameras, but it can't be because I've got them here. So that's the little Panasonic TZ100 getting all these close-ups. I've got my JVC GY-HM170 as my main camera, and I love that camera. It's a great piece of kit, which is that one. And I've got my Sony A6000 over there with a wide angle lens and the wide angle attachment fitted to it. So I'm getting basically a wide overview of the actual scene, hopefully. Now, getting back to this then. Right, so this is the RX10 Mark II. It's got a 1-inch sensor, and it's a 20.2 megapixel sensor. So the results from it are outstanding. It has got, let's turn her on. It's a bridge camera, so you can't interchange the lenses. That's fine for me. I'm more than happy about that because it's got a nice wide and a pretty reasonable telephoto, so that's fine. Very compact for what it is. It's a DSLR style camera, but it is actually very compact. The Panasonic, on the other hand, quite a bit heavier and quite a bit bulkier. I don't know how obvious that is, the difference in sizes, but there's a fair bit of weight to this one. A lot of that's built up with the lens, you know. The lens has got a lovely aperture ring that goes around the lens. Now that is clickable. I've got it set to non-clickable as I do video. If I switch the click back on, don't know if you can hear that click. So that's mainly for stills, and that's back to the old school really, and a lot of people do like to have a firm click as to where the aperture is. For video I prefer to turn that off, and then I've just got a constant aperture ring, and you've got your focus ring. And also in some respects it acts as a zoom ring. In fact, I've got that set to zoom. As you can see, the lens is zooming in and out. It's got an articulating screen, which is nice, so you can tilt it down and tilt it up, which is nice and it is good, but it's not as good as the Panasonic. The Panasonic is great, particularly for me because I work on my own. The Panasonic's got the articulating screen, that is superb. So if you're doing vlogging or you're doing, you know, you can set it up, film yourself, and that's got the articulating screen. That is superb. I use that a lot because obviously when you're filming yourself, you can't see, with a screen that doesn't tilt round, you can't see what you're filming, so it's kind of guesswork. I did have that problem actually a couple of weeks ago when I did the review of the little TZ100. I used the RX10 Mark II. I hadn't used it before, and I thought I'd give it a whirl. So I used the RX10 Mark II, and the viewers wouldn't notice a cock-up that I made, but I cocked up the main shot because I didn't use a monitor connected to the RX10. I set it up what I thought was right, but I ended up with a tripod in shot and some other crap, and I weren't happy with that. I wasn't going to output that, and also I wasn't going to bother refilming it. But because it's shot in 4K, both these cameras shoot in 4K, I had the luxury of being able to crop it tighter without losing any quality in the picture. I could have done that a wee bit filming in HD, but not to the extent that I did do. So I was able to crop out the tripod legs of this second camera over here. And that is one of the huge benefits with shooting in 4K, is being able to crop the image and everyone's happy, you get a really nice end result. So I love filming in 4K, it's the way forward really. And I'm quite happy with HD, but 4K for me works really well, again, because I don't have to worry too much about getting it absolutely spot on when I film it, although it's nice to, but I don't have to terribly be too concerned about that. So, so that's the RX10 Mark II as far as filming is concerned. It produces great video. It's got all the video-centric functions that a videographer wants. It's got your histogram, audio level controls, and the audio on here, the preamps on here are excellent. So, and the audio level controls are very, very accurate. You can see, well, I don't know if you can see, hopefully you can see, the actual is very bright green LEDs that are on here. So I'm very happy with that. It has got manual audio level controls. You can either preset one of the function buttons to get to that, or you have to delve into the menu. I actually don't have to do any of that because I already owned this fantastic little gadget. And that's another reason why I bought the RX10 Mark II, because it works with this amazing little gadget. Love it. That clips onto there. Now I have a pro filming piece of kit with XLR inputs for the audio, so you just plug your XLRs into there, like so, and you've got your manual audio controls on the side. So you've got phantom power with it as well. So you've got your manual audio controls here, just like a professional would have. There's no mucking around with trying to find it on the, you know, in the menu or anything of that nature. And you'll see it's cut the audio out now because obviously there's no microphones plugged into the adapter, and works fantastic. I love it, and this will feature as this will be a big part of my main filming kit. But so will the Panasonic, because that's got things this hasn't got. And I wish this did have it. Then I wouldn't need that, if that makes sense, you know. Bloody hell, it's never simple, is it? Do you know what? I've never found yet a manufacturer that can make a camera that's got everything that I need. Because you think, wow, I ain't got that. So, you know, it's so frustrating. But the Panasonics will have what the Sonys don't have, and vice versa. It's a weird thing. As I say, one of them is the articulating screen on the Panasonic, which is awesome. But the other thing is, which is equally awesome, is on the Panasonic, you've got a touch screen. So you can touch the screen to move your focus point. You can review videos. There's so much you can do with a touch screen. You can get into your menus. You can scroll through your menus easily enough. You know, it's wonderful. But particularly for setting your focus and that kind of malarkey. So, you know, I love the Panasonic for the touchscreen and the articulating screen, and that's, you know, great. But what it does lack is any way of getting XLR audio into it. You can use like the Beach Tech adapters, which just screw on the bottom or on the top, whatever, which will take XLR inputs, but they don't have phantom power, and it becomes messy, lots of cables everywhere. With this, actually that is a lot lighter, even with that on top. That's a lot more compact than that. But with this, you plug the XLR adapter in and you're well away. So so there you are. That's one of the things I love about this. That's one of the big differences between the two. I've made a couple of notes actually. We've said about the telephoto lens. The other thing that I got this for was I wanted to play with S-Log. Now, I don't shoot anything in any of the logs. I mean, Panasonic's, I could get V-Log for the FZ2000, but I haven't played with any of the log settings. But on here, S-Log is built into it. So I'm going to go out and about when the weather improves and do some filming using S-Log and see what I get. Now, the downside with using S-Log is on the monitor, it's a very grey image. It's a very flat image. It's pretty naff actually, and you can't really see how well focused it is, the exposure and what have you. But I already own the Atomos Ninja Assassin, and that's got a LUT, so you can overlay what the image will look like once it's edited, and it's fantastic. So I can use that A as a recorder, but B as a monitor, so I can film an S-Log on here and view the actual video as it will look on the Atomos. So fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Exposure compensation is nice and easy to get to on the top here. One lovely thing about the Sony, Panasonic doesn't have that. It does have it, but it's not on it. And this has got ND filters, but it's menu driven. I've set up a quick menu to be able to get to the ND filters. So that isn't so bad, you know. But on the Panasonic, you've got a manual control here, so you can get to your ND filters very easily. Also, it's got a plethora of function buttons. As it says, 3 on the side there, several on the back. There's 1 on the top, you know. So that makes it, you know, again, a very pro one, but it hasn't got the pro audio inputs, which is a real bummer. It has got a mic jack input, which is great. I wouldn't have bought it if it didn't have. And it has got a headphone jack. Likewise, I wouldn't have bought the camera if it didn't have a headphone jack. So, and the results from it are outstanding. You know, I can't say that the Sony produces better than the Panasonic and vice versa. I'm very pleased with both the images, the still images, and the video from both of them. So no complaints there whatsoever. But I think I'll be using this as a main camera because of the XLR audio. I can plug in me Rode NTG microphones. I think it's the NTG2 that I got, which requires phantom power. Well, this gives you phantom power. And be happy with it. And it's got this has got microphone and headphone jacks as well, and HDMI. They both have clean HDMI out, which is, for me, very, very important, to the extent of almost being essential, because I can feed either or into my Atomos recorder and record ProRes 422 without any problem. And I think that camera's just died on me. So so you can record ProRes 422 on here, sorry, on the Atomos Ninja Assassin. And it's, as I say, because it's got a clean output, you can do that. It's also can trigger it. I have checked it. This, when you hit the record on here, will record internally and will trigger the Atomos to record, which is, again, superb. The Panasonic will do the same as well. I have checked with Panasonic, that does that as well. So, so there you go. That's a pretty quick run through of the RX10 Mark II. Very similar in spec to the RX10 Mark III, apart from the 3 hasn't got any ND filters, which is pretty dumb really as to why Sony would do that. but it has got the longer lens. I went for this one because it's got the ND filters and it's got a constant f2.8 aperture on the lens. Great camera and loving it, loving using it. So there we go. I hope you enjoy my reviews. I really do hope you enjoy my reviews. Please subscribe if you do, and hit the like button. If you subscribe, you'll keep up to date of future reviews that come on my channel, and I've got a lot coming up this year. And I will be doing a comparison video of the results from these two rather superb cameras. In fact, extremely superb cameras. Battery life on the RX10 Mark II is pretty good. I've not had any major issues with running out of battery on it. You get a good hour and a half filming, even in 4K with one battery, and that pleases me. But I have purchased the Atomos power station, which is fantastic because I can run the Atomos Ninja Assassin, that's it, the Atomos Ninja Assassin and the RX10s. I've got the adapter together from the bigger batteries, so I'm happy with that. So there we go. Thanks for watching this review. Hope you've enjoyed it, and look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks very much. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Thanks very much. See you soon. Bye for now.